Hey students, welcome. I am Arsham Hassan Sheikh. In today's video, we are going to know 2nd PU English syllabus and later we'll study a romantic poem, Romeo and Juliet, written by William Shakespeare. So let's have a quick glance on your syllabus. As you can see on your screen, there are two books called Springs and Streams. Springs carries 50 marks, includes prose and poetry, that's your course book or textbook. Second one, Streams, that carries 50 marks, that is for grammar. Total you have 100 marks. I hope ನಿಮಗೆ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿದೆ, ಸಮझ में आ गया होगा. So coming up next, a very intensely passionate romantic poem written by William Shakespeare, that is Romeo and Juliet. I hope you all heard about William Shakespeare. He is one of the greatest writer of English language. He is called as England's national poet. He is Bard of Avon, a great sonneteer, a great writer of play. He has written many tragedies, comedies, romance, whatnot. But here, in Romeo and Juliet, it's a tragic play of two young lovers, the most popular one. I hope you know some of famous lovers like Romeo and Juliet, Antonio Cleopatra, Paris and Helena, Laila Majnun, Salim Anarkali, Elizabeth and Darcy from Pride and Prejudice, Bajirao Mastani, Veer Zara, Ram Leela. So the list never ends. So like that, here in Romeo and Juliet, there are two poems. Romeo expresses his feelings and Juliet expresses her feelings. So before that, let's know a little bit about the background. Okay, as you can see here, two royal families of Verona, rival families, Montagues and Capulets. Romeo belongs to Montagues, Juliet belongs to Capulets. There are two more characters, Rosaline and Lord Capulet. Rosaline is niece of Lord Capulet and Lord Capulet is father of Juliet. Here, at the beginning of the play, Romeo is attracted to Rosaline. Romeo pines for Rosaline. Romeo loves Rosaline. Ek tarfa mohabbat, one-sided love. So Romeo is a great reader of poems. So he tries to apply love poems. He tries to apply whatever he has read. So today we can say, if we see too many films and try to imitate in real life, we call them as filmy. So like that, he is kind of a person who lives in his own imaginative world. So there, Lord Capulet has hosted a grand supper, a dinner party. Romeo attends the party in disguise to see Rosaline. So what is this disguise? So hiding his identity because he is attending a rival family's party. So that's why he goes there in disguise. The question comes in your examination, how does Romeo attend the party? So how did he attend the party? In disguise. Why did he attend the party? To see Rosaline. So there, he sees Juliet for the first time. It is like love at first sight. पहली नजर में इश्क हो गया. So there he expresses his feelings towards Juliet in his soliloquy or monologue. Concentrate as I'm going to recite the poem. You can see it on your screen. And he expresses his feelings like this. Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. She hangs upon the cheek of night as a rich jewel in an Ethiopia. Beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. So shows a snowy dove trooping with crows as yonder lady o'er her fellow shows. The measure done, I'll watch her place of stand, and touching hers, make blessed my rude hands. Did my heart love till now? For swear it sight, I never saw true beauty till this night. So in this way, he expresses his feelings. The first line, oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. Isn't it an exclamation? As if you are seeing something for the first time. Oh, she doth. Doth is used in Old English, so now we have to use it as does. She does. Oh, she does teach the torches. Torches in ancient days, you can see here, these kind of torches are used to illuminate the rooms. So he is referring to these torches. She can teach the torches to burn bright. She is more brighter. She is more radiant than the torches. ಆಕೆ ದೀಪಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಪ್ರಜ್ವಲಿಸಬೇಕು ಎಂದು ಕಲಿಸುತ್ತಾಳೆ. ಆ ದೀಪಗಳ ಬೆಳಕನ್ನು ಮೀರಿಸುವಷ್ಟು ಸುಂದರಿ ಆಕೆ. She can surpass the brightness of the torches. So he is struck by her beauty. He is astonished to see a beauty like this for the first time. Now second sentence. She hangs upon the cheek of night as a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. As she is dancing on the floor, वो वहाँ पे जैसे नाच रही है कि जैसे झूल रही है. ರಾತ್ರಿ ಎಂಬ ಕೆನ್ನೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಕಿವಿಯೊಲೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ತೂಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತನೋ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಆಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಣಿಯುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾಳೆ. So here lot of imagery has been used. What is imagery? You have to create pictures in your mind to understand or visualize the things to understand it better or enjoy the poem. So this is imagery. So here you can see cheek of night. Here cheek of night is personification. So what is personification? Giving inanimate objects or non-living objects and animals human attributes. ನಿರ್ಜೀವ ವಸ್ತುಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೇ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಗುಣಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೋಲಿಸುವುದು ಏನಂತೀವಿ ನಾವು personification ಅಂತೀವಿ. So cheek of night, ರಾತ್ರಿ ಎಂಬ ಕೆನ್ನೆ. So how beautifully it is explained. Rich jewel. So here he compares her to a rich jewel. This is the first comparison. This is simile which is used. Very important for the examination purpose. This is the first comparison where he compares her to a jewelry or jeweled earring. So what is Ethiop's ear? African woman's earring. So why he has taken African woman? So night is dark, so most of the African people have dark skin color. So here you can see the contrast of brightness and darkness creates beauty. So one more thing can be understood here. So as he is watching Juliet there, so everything is appearing dark to him except Juliet. तो ऐसे बोलते हैं ना कि प्यार में अंधा हो गया है, लड़की के अलावा कुछ दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है, इसको कुछ भी नहीं दिख रहा है, ಆ ಪ್ರೇಯಸಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವನಿಗೆ ಏನು ಕಾಣಿಸ್ವಲ್ತು ನೋಡು. So we say like that. So his situation is like this right now. The third line, beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. Here he got spellbound by her beauty. He says she doesn't even belong to this earth. She is a nymph, Apsarayake, which has to be kept in heaven. She belongs to heaven. Nobody on this earth is worth enough to love her. Beauty too rich for use. Earth too dear. Her beauty is divine, pure. ಈ ಭೂಮಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಕೆಯನ್ನು ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡುವ ಯೋಗ್ಯತೆ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ವರ್ಗಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಅಪ್ಸರೆ ಆಕೆ. She cannot be buried on this earth. Like that, his feelings grow even deeper. So shows a snowy dove trooping with crows as yonder lady o'er her fellow shows. So here, a snowy dove, a white dove, he compares her. This is second comparison. This is also a simile. Simile means comparing two things using words like or as, uske jaise, other hage, comparing some of the characteristics of something. And Black Rose, rest of the other dancers on the floor are compared to Black Rose. As you know, everything is appearing dark to him except Juliet. The next lines, the measure done, I'll watch her place of stand, and touching hers, make blessed my rude hands. Here, the measure done means completion of dance. He's telling, after the completion of dance, I'll go there where she is dancing. मैं वहाँ पे जाना चाहता हूँ. अल्ली होगी. I want to touch her. Why? Because she's so blessed, she's so divine that if I touch her, I too get blessed. He wants to get blessings from her because she is blessed. उसको छू के मैं धन्य हो जाऊंगा. ಆಕೆಯನ್ನು ಸ್ಪರ್ಶಿಸಿ ನಾನು ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಪಡೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೇನೆ. Did my heart love till now? For swear it sight, for I have never saw true beauty till this night. He imposes question to himself. वो खुद से जवाब तलब है. वो पूछता है, ನನ್ನ ಹೃದಯ ಯಾರನ್ನಾದರೂ ಇಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರೀತಿಸಿತ್ತೆ? क्या मैंने किसी से प्यार किया था? And there he tells, जो आज मैंने देखा, for swear it sight, what I have seen today, I have never saw true beauty till this night. मैंने आज तक किसी से प्यार ही नहीं किया क्योंकि इतनी खूबसूरती, a true beauty, ನಿಜವಾದ ಸೌಂದರ್ಯ ಇವತ್ತು ಕಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು. So that's why I'm falling in love. I have found true love. He tells he never felt so much in love as if he has found true love because he has seen a true beauty today. So in this way, he expresses his love towards Juliet in his soliloquy. Later in the play, their love becomes deeper and they decide to get married. And after the wedding, Juliet is very eager. She's craving to meet her husband Romeo at her residence. This is very famously known as Juliet's invocation to the night. And please concentrate as I'm going to recite the poem. Come night, come Romeo, come, thou day and night, for thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow on a riven's back. Come, gentle night, come, loving black-browed night, give me my Romeo, and when I shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. In the first line, come night, come Romeo, thou day and night, she invites both Night and Romeo. She invites Night first because Night is going to bring her Romeo. She compares Romeo, thou day and night. It's a metaphor. What is metaphor? Comparing two things as one. It means he is day. He is not like or as day. He is day and night. You see here, he is bright, delightful day and night. So what is brightness here? So purity and divinity. He is the person who has brought brightness in her life. ಆಕೆ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳಕು ತುಂಬಿದ ಅಂತ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ. ಬೆಳಕು in the sense happiness. So every positive things can be attached to bright and light. Okay, next. For thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow on a riven's back. Here she tells night as a bird. It's a personification. She's telling night is having wings. ರಾತ್ರಿ ಎಂಬ ಪಕ್ಷಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಕುಳಿತುಕೊಂಡು ನನ್ನ ರೋಮಿಯೋ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ. ಬರುವಾಗ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾನೆ? whiter than new snow. Here Romeo is whiter than new snow. New snow, niv is pure and untouched. What is raven's back here? Raven is a black bird. So night is dark and black. So raven's back in the sense black bird. ರಾತ್ರಿ ಎಂಬ ಪಕ್ಷಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೆನ್ನಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ಕುಳಿತುಕೊಂಡು ಸೊ ಬರುವಾಗ he will appear as if he is a new snow. Next she tells, come gentle night, come loving black-browed night, Here she is praising night. वो बोल रही है कि रात तो कितनी प्यारी है, तो कितनी अच्छी है, तो कितनी सुंदर है. Now see here, she is telling night as a black broad. So black brows enhance the beauty of face. They also protect the eyes. So like that, it's very beautiful and protective. Night provides suitable time for lovers, protecting from all evil eyes of the world. दुनिया के हर बुरी नज़र से बचाकर दो प्रेमियों को मिलाने का सही वक्त ಪ್ರದಾನ करती है ರಾತ್. ಸರಿಯಾದ ಸಮಯ ಒದಗಿಸಿಕೊಡ್ತದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ she is praising night. Then she tells, give me my Romeo. When I shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars. She's asking, she's pleading night to give her Romeo. ಈಗ ನನ್ನ ರೋಮಿಯೋ ನನಗೆ ಕೊಡು. ಅಭಿ ಮುझको मेरा रोमियो दे दे. जब मैं मर जाऊंगी, ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾನು ಸಾಯ್ತೀನಿ, take him, make him little star. And the face of heaven looks so fine that all the world will fall in love with night. She is telling, the face of heaven here is the sky. By becoming star or stars, Romeo will enhance the beauty of night because he is very charming and handsome. She wants to immortalize him. And finally she tells, the world pay no worship to the garish sun. Here garish means not bright, being boastful or showy. जो एक घमंडी सूरज है ना, इसको बहुत घमंड है अपने आप के होने पर. तो माय रोमियो, मेरा रोमियो जो है उसका गुरूर उतारेगा. ಅವನು ಸೊಕ್ಮುರಿತಾನೆ ಯಾರು? ನನ್ನ ರೋಮಿಯೋ, by becoming star at night. She is against the garish sun because it doesn't provide them a suitable time. It doesn't help them. So that's why she wants that the world should pay more attention to her Romeo because he is glittering in the sky. So in this way, she expresses her feelings. Thank you very much.